Hello and welcome to an unorthodox episode of Tales Across Time and Space. I am your game moderator today, Thomas, and I am joined by Crystal and Kitsune.
Hi, I'm Crystal Kitsune, and I'm playing Lara the Mystic.
Except for we're not playing today.
But we're not playing today. I'm tired.
That's fine. This is, like I said, unorthodox. And to be fair, I think it's pretty orthodox for us to never go through these intros without something going up.
That's going to be the most orthodox part of the stream today.
And speaking of, I am also joined by Janie SP.
Hi, I'm Jane. I am Janox, and I am playing Janie SP today.
And lastly, we have been intruded by Zeistund.
Hello, I am Zeistund, and yes, I have intruded your chat, and I shall now infect you with a virus.
Oh.
You know, one of these days I should actually write those random little dialogue things that kind of like. I am not an improv comedian. Let's be honest here. I'm not even a comedian.
I was gonna say you're not a comedian.
Yes, but
I don't know. He has some pretty good dad jokes. I like your dad jokes.
So, anyways, due to some constraints going on, for example, Dyson didn't even have power until like 15 minutes ago. At least it seemed like 15 minutes ago. But anyways,
yeah, that's about accurate.
So due to other constraints, we were going to have this chat offline during last week, but that stuff came up. But anyways, we're just going to kind of be chatting up and kind of just doing a bit of group discussion, kind of about what we want to see for our characters and the game itself, and also just kind of so we can kind of plan some bigger things in the future. As such, be warned. There be spoilers, yo. If you want to go through this game and not know what we have planning and kind of see this event thing, do not listen onward. Turn off this video. Mute this video and leave it running in the background to push up our statistics so we can help reach people. But do not listen if you do not want to know what's going to happen. Or maybe bookmark it. Come back to it when you've written it, and then we can kind of see where our thought process behind all the things that we are surely going to do that we plan today, and not get forgotten by people who fly by the seat of their pants.
Yeah, don't forget us, like I might get forgotten eventually in the future.
Who are you again?
Oh no, Janox, don't infect me!
Weren't you in masks for like a very short time?
I mean, to be fair, most people, it's hard to remember any masked characters except for Blank for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically,
we have a lot of masks.
But yeah.
No, wait. Yeah. Actually, neither of my characters have been masked. Like, remember, Jade actually has their mask in their human persona, and that's just, personality, and Janox doesn't wear a mask. He just is creepy.
To be fair, people don't typically wear masks in Kingdom Hearts. Does anyone wear a mask in Kingdom Hearts?
Big Hero 6 World!
Okay,
Wasn't there someone with like a cat mask or something in like
And Diz as well.
Diz does not wear a mask. He is just cosplaying a mummy.
I'm sorry. I will try not to be judgmental against Mummy Kai.
And for some reason that changed his skin color.
Let's just not think too hardly about that one.
Yes, we're going to be off the wall today because we're just mostly going to be chatting a little bit about what we may have in the future, and maybe play a little games afterward.
Yep. We'll kind of see how this does. So if we reach a point where we're kind of like, okay, we're kind of exhausted about where we want to go with this kind of thing, we'll just kind of switch over to playing some Jackbox games. So We'll just kind of see how this goes. Like, we're not planning on running. We're not. I don't plan this to be pushing too hard into the as long as we normally go. We're more likely to end early, but like I say, very much by ear, maybe even by need. Yeah, so it's 1 lamp if by ear, 2 lamp if by knee.
Also, I'm mad because I just thought of a joke that I didn't get to you.
Oh?
Yeah, well, I can't do it now.
Were you talking about the intros, or are you talking about other things?
Yeah, the intros.
Okay. Dang, now that's gonna bug me, wondering what it was.
What is?
What's Dyson's joke that he thought of for the intros?
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Well,
Well,
fine.
if I remember, I'll do it next week.
We all know that's not gonna happen.
Just jot it down next week.
Put it in a time capsule. Radical might join us later, but work requirements are also hounding him, so that's another reason why we're definitely doing this. So
Be mad.
I'm just looking at this, like, it's very interesting to look at the links patterns we got going here, because, like, everyone kind of has the same kind of smattering of light and mastery links, but, like, Laura Zeiston have, like, all the dark links here, and like, Sohoy and Genox have, like, all the heart links for this.
Well, considering that our character, it's kind of fitting for the two of us to be the Heartlink people, because he's, well, the chosen one in the first place, but also amnesiac. And I'm also pretty amnesiatic. And now that spoilers have no longer apply, I am not a real nobody. I am a person who thinks they're a nobody, but actually has personality to them.
You're like Cheese Whip.
Yeah.
Wow, that's harsh, Tyson. That's really. I mean, it's not inaccurate, but it's still pretty harsh.
That's personality. I've never seen those ads.
Well, now you don't get your pirate boat.
Oh. So, I guess let's kind of like just start to kind of give a little direction to us talking before we goof off and chat until the cows with keyblades come home. What, like, just kind of looking back with your guys' characters and such, like, is there anything you kind of wanted to have happened or something that, so, like, kind of like feeling like missed opportunities or stuff like that? Not necessarily, not specifically in the plot structure, because like where the story steps go, but like just like character beats you kind of like feeling like you wanted or needed or should have.
I actually have one that I kind of feel like I could have done better.
Yeah.
The romance aspect between Zeiston and Kitsune, I kind of feel like I've been like.
Yes, that is also what I was thinking.
I'm trying, okay? Unfortunately, the rules of the game is play to see what happens. So, like, I have ideas, and then, suddenly we are in Merlin and Laura's mixed dream world here. What happened here?
Yes, when are we gonna get our romance going?
We need more shifts, and not just one pirate one.
Well, I actually have something that might start contributing to it, because I kind of decided, like, I decided I regretted how I did the ferry. Instead, you're going to have to deal with, instead he's going to carry you across, and everyone's going to have to deal with some kind of personal trials. Except for Jane. Because you kind of got those same story beats for those already out of the way there. Just kind of
dying.
Yeah, and kind of just face your fears and regrets in something. And, like, I have ideas which could kind of maybe start the, like, give reason in game for the character to start thinking about their relationships in that way. Yeah. So.
I mean, I also kind of blame myself also, because it's like kind of hard for me to break that. Oh, I'm just doing this for the lulz type of thing. Like,
Well, that's okay because I feel like your trial is going to be very much about: are you doing it to be? Are you serious about this, or are you just here for fun?
For the lulz.
Mhm.
Like, it feels weird that your character does feel a little disjointed in some ways because you were formerly or still technically do work for the Forgotten Master, and
Mhm.
we have no idea. Like, after he walked off and was like letting you do whatever after you killed my character.
I mean,
I
he is
was
really.
gonna say, I think I'm kind of throwing too much razzle into the way I play Zysent.
Yeah.
There's just some pony off of the universe who feels a kindred to you, apparently.
So yeah, but
I think it's just me trying to like emulate the actual Pirates of the Caribbean style of like Jack Sparrow in it.
yeah,
Mhm.
but
It fits for the world you come from and your personality. And I also admit, like, I get if you missed your Brazzle personality, because unfortunately that game's on hiatus at the moment.
yeah, we'll figure out some kind of game system that works the best for it, and we'll get back to that story. As like it's for me, I'm more interested in the story there than I am about necessarily what game we're playing it in.
Mm-hmm.
I get you.
No, it's like, God damn it, Drunk Monk just came out for Pathfinder 2.
Yeah, I mean, like, I definitely like, I like Pathfinder 2, but it is so much work to run. Like, it's less work than Pathfinder 1, but still, it is still much work.
Mm-hmm.
I am lazy. I am a lazy GM. I do not deny it.
Have you transitioned to being a lazy DM, Thomas?
I have never I have never been anything but. I am a lazy GM afflicted with occasional bursts of productivity.
Mhm.
That's why I stream, actually, is because I'm too lazy to take notes.
It's true.
No, I completely understand that.
And I'm just glad these are behind the spoiler screen, so maybe we'll have a little less people finding out about this about me. Alright, any other people who need to confess their sins on the internet? But, yeah. Like I say, I'm trying to get to be, like, I don't know, part of me wants to go back over to Mass for a bit just to run a palate cleanser, just get myself back in the brain set here, but I think I know part of it is just the GM support for Interstitial is not that good. Like, I have tons of printouts and handouts for, like, masks, and, like, not having those in front of me breaks up my flow a bit. Also, the fact that I guess I'm reclining more instead of, like, sitting up at a desk due to the difference of venue.
I can get that, like, at least with masks, you had like a separate thing for all the playbooks and like such, like the quick little guide for what things do. Like, here we got one book, and
I mean, it's not a terribly long book, to be fair.
yeah, that's true.
Most of that book
If
is
you are
the playbook.
a GM who right now is doing better, but late rule systems that can focus more on the story, that's fine.
Yeah. No. And, like, I'm trying to find something that hits notes, like, and, whatever can work also, kind of meets everyone's expectations of what they want in a system. So, like, I know Mass did not work for Trevor either. So, but I think we're getting a bit off on a tangent here, though.
Slightly off. No, it's all kind of related. I don't think it's super off on the tangent.
But yeah, so, any other, like, feeling like we're things that we should be kind of missed opportunities on?
I'm sure there is. I just can't think of them right
Yeah,
now.
I'm sure there's more. I mean, I know I have something coming up, but I know you're planning on doing it. My Keyblade.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I am scatterbrained right now. A lot of I like
Yeah.
more so than usual, just because there's been a lot of upheaval in my job kind of thing recently. So
Feeling a little worn out today. That makes sense. It's okay.
well, no upheaval, not worn out. Like things in flux and being shifted
Things are
around.
changing.
That's
A
all.
life shift. No, that makes it's chill. It's chill. Don't worry.
Yeah, shift changes and
Position changes.
second jobs and stuff like that.
All right, so I guess well here's the first big spoiler. Let's talk about what worlds we're going to be going to after this one. It's like I have a list, kind of a rough list here, but you know this is subject to change. Like some of them can come and go as we need or don't need, and as I forget ones, and so I kind of pull them back. You know, we're not super beholden to the running in a like it has to have a live action version of it or vice versa. I'm just using that more as an excuse to say this is a parallel universe from that one, and that's how we're kind of explaining it.
Yeah, we don't have to deal with like continuity.
Yeah.
Because Kingdom Hearts is totally stable on continuity and doesn't just make shit up as it goes sometimes.
Sorry about that.
That was a weird laugh. I was like,
yeah, that was a very One Piece laugh.
That's called a yawn.
Yeah,
it was obviously a gap. It was a yawn plus a laugh.
But anyways, so because I know the one world I really want to go to, because especially with how things have been kind of Zeitzen, I feel, has some of the weakest story in this game. Is there's going to be a animated, like a Pirates of the Universe that is Pirates of the Universe. What the speaking English is not the things. Anyways, there'll be a Pirates of the Caribbean animated series world. I don't think there actually is one, but it's what we're going to be using as the pretense.
Yeah. The only other thing I can think of that is Pirates of the Caribbean is there's the book series with like a young Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you about.
Yeah, no, I've heard of those book series. I remember seeing those like way back in like a catalog or something from like even still in school even, I don't know. But that's kind of what I'm doing, because it is going to be an animated. Basically, it's going to be an animated young Jack kind of thing. Which what
they had, like, because they have the book series, but they actually had initially talked about doing an animated series of that.
Yeah, Disney, why aren't you actually on this? Because I think that would be a good thing for like.
Hey, if they can add to the table,
So
they can add to the world of Pirates.
someone has to send this video to Disney, so they will make that.
You know, if we send this video to Disney, all we're getting is a copyright strike on the channel.
I'm sure our mouse overload would not do that.
Well, I don't think they're going to buy us out.
They buy out everything, so.
Yes, but I don't think it's worth their time.
Yes.
You have to produce something of value for you to be bought.
Fair point.
Anyways, self-depreciation of the channel aside.
He likes to self-depreciate everything.
I don't do it about myself anymore, dear.
Yes.
I was going to make a joke, but.
No.
But the other worlds we had kind of in mind here was Robin Hood.
Oh.
Yes.
which they actually are doing a live action version of, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say a live action version of the Fox cartoon,
Yeah, like that is something they're actually working on. So, like that's not me just saying, "Oh, this world would be fun." I mean, it started off that way, but then I found out, like, wait, they're actually doing this?
Huh. The more you know.
And the last world that you guys are going to run into of the Disney worlds, Enchanted.
I still need to see that movie.
Wow. The as Disney's own movie that they were using to go off of like the hype of making fun of Disney tropes. That would be interesting.
Also, it kind of, because that world does have the parallel universe of like real life New York and fantasy Disney movie cartoon. So it kind of has an interesting parallel to the adventures that you guys have been on. So that's kind of why I'm.
No, that makes sense. I love that movie. Now I want to watch that movie. Thanks for
I can see that being like Halloween Town in the second game, like where you go from Halloween Town to Christmas Town, like.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, the idea is that the animated world is in the quote unquote default Kingdom Hearts universe, and that the New York is in this side, but we're not gonna think too closely about it. But and then after that, kind of things will get a little hot. I consider that outside of once the Disney worlds are over, I consider that to be phase 3. That's a little beyond what we're talking about here.
Oh, phases. We're the Kingdom Hearts trials against time and space extended universe.
First off, it's Tails against time. Tails across time and space, because named after the original test game I did for when I was writing the 5e bestiary for Pony Finder. Because that was called the original was called Trials Across Time and Space. So, boy, that brings me back to some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, yeah, because it was. I think. Oh, Licky! Oh, Licky!
Yes, Licky.
Oh, that's right. It was Cody.
Licky?
That was the Ranger's animal companion was a toad named Licky.
In what?
In my original game I did on this channel.
Oh, okay.
And the running joke became he's more of an elder god who hungers.
Yeah, but he hungers for much.
And I was playing Violette Fleury.
Yep. That brings me back to some nostalgia there, but okay, it's weird.
When you have first campaign, now I understand that.
Yeah. Of course, it's weird to me. It's totally weird now because I realize I've been doing this long enough that I have nostalgia about the early games. So,
What is this madness? Well, if it makes you feel better, at least Licky's spirit is kind of carried on in my own frog companion in my Friday game, even though I never played at that.
But yeah, so, I'm trying to keep the worlds. I feel like we took way too long getting through the earlier worlds and such.
Personally, if we do worlds, if anything, I'd like there to be quote investment. Like I do feel with some of the worlds we did, it felt really disjointed. Like especially Beauty and the Beast, that just felt off a little bit. There was a little interaction we got to do, but then we kind of got sucked out of it, like right when maybe we were going to get to do some interacting.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem there was originally I was going to do, we're going to do the Kingdom Hearts 2 things where we go back and revisit, and then I'm realizing, like, we just got to, like, we just got to, like, the main, the Hollow Bastion revisit of 2, and we still have a lot more to go here, and it's just like, okay, I'm kind of readjusting my plans and
Yeah, so if anything, maybe we can do some follow-up visits to some of those worlds, like Aladdin especially, I think is pretty impactful.
yeah, the biggest
That's the one revisit I think would be a decently impactful one to go back to. Because we got to find out whatever happened to Jafar the rat.
Yeah, no, the big one the big thing I'm planning on bringing back, because there is still there is one that actually has a dangling plot thread outside of the main story of the world, and that is the Fey Moors and Maleficent. Because there was when you left the world, I had a foreshadowing scene where you saw where it was Maleficent and Aurora kind of in like shot, and you see a boot step in from off just on the screen, and you don't know what's supposed to be going on there. I set up that thread, and I intend to finish that. It may not necessarily happen in that world, but that thread is intended to be resolved.
Oh, because the boot was Morgana.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Well, I get where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And if we really wanted to resolve another person's plot thread, we could stumble upon Stitch in the now live Hawaii area. Where now we get a reason where he went off to, and thus why you don't have to role play him anymore as part of our group, but because he finds a family or whatever.
Yeah, I might think about something to do with Stitch, because it was kind of abruptly just trying to get him out of the way at the moment, but like
no, I get it. I get partly why we like him. He is a good, but you were having to juggle a lot of NPCs for the party.
Well, you guys were also. It was more of like during a time where I was like, okay, I needed you guys to focus on something other than Stitch, so I just kicked Stitch out of the scene just to get him out of the way. So, and then then that caused you guys to hyper focus on Stitch, and it's like, no,
I'm still part of my ship.
part of the ship, part of the crew.
Yeah.
But yeah, so okay, but so that's kind of the overarching plot stuff. There's gonna be some stuff that's what pulls you to this next world is gonna be made pretty clear at the end of the of Camelot. So why you're going to these what you're looking for in these worlds will be I have intended at least for it to appear before you leave this world. But because I don't want to spoil what you're in the middle of at this point to you guys, because I feel like okay, I kind of
no, of course not.
But I guess all right, now that we kind of got that discussed here, let's talk about what you guys want to see with your characters here going forward.
Romance.
Romance. It's not in air.
I want my romance.
That is beyond my control, dear.
Dustin! We need to get working on it!
No. we're
already.
I was gonna say we kind of have a Naruto Sakura relationship, like
at this point, yeah.
Look,
where it's like, okay, I do something stupid, and then you beat me up.
Look, all you need to do is just like get to a point where you're about to like come to blows, and instead of punching inside each other, you start making out. And then your goal is to never let the rest of the team know about this.
Well, and the thing is that the best opening that we had recently was honestly the shanking of Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the best opening we had, and we didn't use it.
Really? Like, I don't see how. Can you explain like how you saw it as an opening? Because I am actually lost on that.
Feels. There was a lot of feels.
Okay.
Oh, you just murdered my teammate. Let's make it out.
That okay.
It was probably the best opening for at least like the discovering feelings, because she felt kind of betrayed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was trying to aim for. And it just,
Yeah, the inner thoughts of like, oh my god, they just did this.
yeah, that was what I wanted to aim for.
Okay. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just.
Okay, you just didn't read it right. So I need to be like, hey, Laura has feelings. Let's talk about them.
What? Laura has feelings?
Yes.
I was just about to do that.
Don't worry. We'll have. Maybe that's what I'll use for some of your trial stuff to get to Avalon.
My feelings.
I was gonna say either that or we could do the what was it? The Secret Tunnel episode of Avatar. Like
Secret.
just have Laura and Tyson like separated from the others and like.
Because like the first time we even talked about doing that was all the way back in the Aladdin world.
Getting you guys locked together in a tower.
Yeah, because I was trying to like plan for that, and then he just changed the entire thing.
It just happened that way. Okay, I don't.
Seen it his pants. Do not get his GMing style.
My pants are ripping at the seams.
They are?
Because of how much I am flying by the seat of them. They're not designed to hold the weight of an entire person by their seat.
Oh, honey.
That does sound like a lot of pinch-related issues.
Then take them off.
Let's not continue this train of thought on the air. All right. So, what about you, Dustin? What do you want to kind of see going on beyond the apparently mandated romance between the characters?
It was mandated ages ago, honey.
I know, but I'm just saying it's
like apparently mandated.
It was more about it being mandated versus being a thing you guys both wanted to see as more of how you were.
Yeah.
I kind of want to meet the other organization members. Like, I know we have
the Remnants.
I was gonna, I know we have like not Trixie.
Yeah, I think you have a link. Yeah, it's your one link.
But yeah, I'd be interested to meet like others, like have the Akatsuki show up, like.
Okay, I could throw together some NPCs for these worlds, and that maybe be your antagonists kind of thing. Kind of like, the revisits where you were kind of thinning off some of the less important organization members into.
Yeah.
Like, the organization is
like how big we can argue our organization even was as the.
It was very much on a need-to-know basis, and he didn't think anyone needed to know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Kind of the thing I want to visit more is like my history in Radiant Garden, like with like my family and all that stuff.
Okay, that's going to be harder for me to pull in.
Yeah.
So, because you can.
Unfortunately, sometimes backstory is something hard to make fit
we're not going to
organically
be
in
at
that.
Radiant Garden. Period.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't saying be in Radiant Garden.
I know, but that's kind of so. What I'm trying to say is, barring that, it's more kind of like it's kind of more on you to bring that into the game than for me.
Which I can do. I can, yeah.
So
maybe just leave her the opening to be able to do that, but
exactly
that is not fair.
All right, but anyways, beyond that, like, what kind of situation, beyond seeing basically some of your former coworkers, that's an we all know how awkward that can be sometimes, especially when you've officially quit.
Yeah, I hate your guts.
And you just, and it turns out the feeling is mutual everywhere. Everyone did not like you. Apparently, that was just the wonder of Janox that was the reason you were partnered with Janox. No one else could stand you.
Yeah.
May or may not.
So count yourself, and you stab the only person who could tolerate in the back.
Janex is like a puppy. Like they you can't be mad at them, and they can't be mad with anyone.
Oh.
I mean,
Damn it.
not like as puppy as AHOY can be, but
other than just like the teammates, like learn a bit more about the organization itself. Or
yes, if you have one or two other members that you can just have pop up where you feel they fit, that might be add a little bit to the world. Because I always understood, like at a meta level, like me, Zeiston, and the Forgotten Master were like the only three people in the group for the first point, because like it wasn't a full organization 13. They're just kind of following up on what the old organization left behind, basically.
Well, no, the remnants were made for. They have the codes and everything, but their purpose was just that some things are too dangerous to be known about, so they their job is to make people forget. That was their
whole tight-knit organization.
Yeah, you guys are the men in black. Cloaks.
We are the men in black.
Cloaks.
I was gonna wait for the pause to go a little longer, then say cloaks.
Sorry, I'm impatient. All right, so I guess Jane, where do you want to see? What kind of things do you want to see for your character?
Honestly, I feel like I've already had a lot of development recently. You know me, I'm not super picky. I feel like my big plot twist has finally been revealed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty good overall. I think it's partly just going to be developing what kind of person I am now. Now that my character knows he's not actually a nobody, he's more closer related to Replica.
Mm-hmm. He's less real than a nobody.
Yeah, that's like, man, how do you get less real than nothing?
Oh, that's kind of what is shocking him right now. He's trying not to let it go, but he definitely feels a little hurt.
Also,
hey, if there ends up being a situation, we come to a world or a storyline all about, like honestly, I think that would actually kind of work with, if we do go back and find Stitch, this whole thing about finding a family and stuff with the people around you, that could resonate with my character a little bit on, the people he's literally now linked to existing by being in a relationship with.
Okay, sorry, I had a little pop up on my screen there.
And figure out what kind of would be the good situation to finally burn his link to both the Forgotten Master and to his old somebody who isn't now even his somebody.
So what you're sorry, you go ahead.
You go ahead.
Okay, so I was just gonna say, so you're saying, Jane, home is where someone thinks of you?
Oh, I did.
I was gonna go with so what you're saying. So it's somebody you used to know.
Oh, somebody
together.
Well, Zeiston's joke was the fact that literally we just finished the Naruto Shippuden arc with or that was a phrase that Naruto used on the tag along for the day.
You know what? Now I'm totally imagining like a music video in my head of that is a ship of Zeiston and Janox to somebody that I used to know.
To be fair, if we had enough fans that we would have shipping wars, I'm feeling like you'd be the Xylora shippers versus the nobody shippers.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we're also shipping Jan Lara.
I don't see it as
There's
much.
all the shit
Honestly.
between because Sohoy is just so wholesome and good in general. I don't like maybe Laura Sohoy, but otherwise it's hard
Honestly,
to
I
argue.
feel like if we had a fan base, people would be trying to ship Laura with everybody because she's the token girl.
Well,
True.
yeah, because she's the one girl.
But
You're
at
the
the same
Sakura of
time,
our group.
to be fair though, it is also we're piggybacking off the Kingdom Hearts thing where you're not necessarily going to always be finding the straight ships as the strong ones.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
That's why I was totally mean Dyston. I could see it.
If you watch this video, comment below who is your OTP of the PCs.
Well, Jeremy Hartsley.
Oh.
And is it Laura Janox or is it Laura Zeiston?
Ish.
Hey, Radical! You just missed the shipping conversation.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we were more just kind of spitballing a little bit of like what kind of worlds we like to see and where we might want character evolution and story for our various things.
I see.
So
I
we-
see. I kind of
But
regret
also
missing
the
as much
shipping
as I did.
conversation, We avoided the most obvious ship.
What?
Oh, okay.
Ahoy, I need you to film me.
Oh,
What?
what's
What?
his name?
The most
Sohoy
obvious ship?
And what's his
Oh,
name?
Millen!
Sohoy and Millen. We avoided that one.
You know, the funniest part is I was gonna absolutely suggest that as the most obvious one.
It is the most obvious one.
I'm sorry. I guess for me it was just that I intended it just to be friends, and it just like
God, it was so shippy. Like,
I mean, I could absolutely see it as friends still. You know, I'm not like, oh no.
Friends, but it felt so goddamn shippy because it felt like Axel and Roxas.
I mean, the thing is that that's extremely Kingdom Hearts for like we're friends, but friendship is actually super important. It's okay. I know nobody likes Sohoy out of that, so that's fine.
Interesting twist of events if you two used to be in a
Really
relationship.
connected with any of like the player characters in a way that we should probably see like a ship. Like I could actually see Lara and Janox mostly because of like the whole dive to the heart thing.
okay. You know, and honestly, this is actually good for the sake of that we will. I'm going to put a pin on this here. I just want to touch some stuff that we went over with you guys with Rad before we move forward.
Yeah.
This actually is a good segue to future. Another thing I think we should talk about, but we will come back to this. Okay, first off, Rad, do you have any like regrets or like feeling like missed opportunities that we haven't really hit in that you kind of want to draw attention to, so we can kind of address that?
I mean,
with your
if I'm gonna be honest, like having worlds with aborted arcs kind of feels like the world should be us showing what our characters are as we problem solve, and not just you go here and something happens and you leave.
Okay, that is.
That's when I brought it before.
Right, go ahead. Or
no, I was just saying that does kind of cover what I was going over a little bit earlier, but yeah, I'm glad to hear someone else
does put it succinctly, and
also kind of where it's coming from.
I'll definitely try to work. I know I've been kind of all over the place when it comes to pacing.
That's why I feel like that's why this quote Paula Bastion slow quote alternate version of Camelot is been so long and good was because it really did connect with one of our characters simply because it is their home.
Right. But I mean, not every world's going to be a winner, you know.
Experiences Zeiston and going to, as I said, there is a fun idea that could work out for Hawaii that might allow me to connect a little bit. Although radical.
Wait. Is Hawaii the anime version of Hawaii?
I can see that.
Anyways, all right.
It's like New Friend Tokyo.
So I guess the other question here for that is, what kind of thing do you want to see with Sohoi going ahead here?
Well, I mean, he's already gone over. I think we're already moving away from the he's wild and has nothing going on, and is entering the now he needs to sort of know what his background is more thoroughly, and interacting with who he used to be, who apparently was had divided loyalties of some kind. So that's fun. So that's interesting, at least.
Okay. Yeah, and we can kind of. I think that's one we'll kind of do a little more one-on-one discussion kind of thing. We'll message back and forth about kind of getting some details. Like I feel like unless you want to specifically kind of do that, we can kind of at least figure out the overarching kind of stuff together about what is and is not true.
Yeah. Right.
You got to work out your secret alternate past life.
That's right. And among them, it's like, what was Sohoi doing, following one master and then betraying his wishes to follow another master? Did he know the first master was bad? Did he not know and was tricked?
Sohoi is the big bad enemy.
Sohoi has been Silas has been doing it the whole time. He has been plotting all of this. He created the Hollowed when he was before who he was before Silas. The X is silent in Silas. No. Nobody knew this. We've never seen it spelled. Come on.
Obviously, or time travel.
Yes,
because he was already there. Because that's how Kingdom Hearts time travel works. For a given definition of works. Yeah, so quick bit of housekeeping.
Give some credit to Kingdom Hearts 3. They did at least try to legitimate the time travel shenanigans a little bit more than just, how the hell are all these people back? And from different time frames. So just kind of stand there menacingly.
We can hear you two whispering, but not with the whispering power.
She leaned in right next to the mic, so I really couldn't do anything else.
He's picking off Lent. I thought he wanted to talk to me about the book I was looking at.
No.
Okay.
I'm looking at a book for another game we're planning on doing, and I keep wanting to point out to him that I want to change my archetype of what I'm going to do for that.
Okay,
we'll talk that after we
We'll
go.
talk it after.
Yeah, because we'll probably need to relax a little bit for that. Yeah, we're definitely not. We're not doing Jackbox tonight. That is for sure. And I think we have. All right, but anyways, quick housekeeping. I'm going to kind of do a little bit of retcon of what happened in the last episode. Instead of being told a fair, you'll have to do a trial to pass through the mist into Avalon proper after riding with the ferryman.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's the thing of like.
I'm like, what am I like? We're supposed to move somewhere, but also sacrifice something significant. I'm like, wow, that is definitely Faye. Look how goddamn brutal it is. Jesus.
And that was probably why my character was at such a conundrum. Was I was like, oh, I could use one. So basically, you're telling me I can either use my class feature, lose a link, and then lose something, and maybe make something that works, or have to give up a link anyway just to move the plot forward.
Yeah. No, well, like, you're still going to the Avalon thing. It's just, I just figured it'd be better to do kind of similar to what we did with Jane, where it's these moments of self-reflecting to kind of get yourself into it, and I kind of have an idea of what everyone's is going to be now, based on these discussions. That's the other reason why I kind of wanted to do this was before doing it. Is that way I have these confronting yourself moments were meant to kind of be what kind of sets the stage for your arc pushing forward here. The other quick bit of bookkeeping here, because you missed it. The next 3 worlds are going to be Animated Pirates World, Live Action Robin Hood, and Enchanted.
Okay.
So, just for reference. But
have you seen all those? Or, ironically, it might almost be better to not see them if you haven't at this point.
Yeah. All right, so but rolling back to the springboard of the shipping conversation, let's talk about character dynamics. Here, let's get an idea about like what you want to kind of see between each other, kind of thing. Because I feel like this is kind of the thing we if we flesh it out, it will help us kind of get you guys bouncing off in a way that everyone kind of wants to do. So,
other than Lara, Janet, Dyson, OT3.
We're just because it's
the OT3.
Just because it's Kingdom Hearts, we do not have to have a trio.
They are totally the OT3. And I'm not saying they're a trio because I have my own like personal trio that Lara.
Which is odd because that would make it an all-girl trio.
Shippy wise, they would be the OT3.
To be fair, people can be in more than one trio.
Can be.
That's scientifically impossible.
Well, actually, that's a very good point because I forget that Lara technically in like the stuff I've written is in more than one trio.
You don't have to spell it out on the board or anything, but I am really curious. So, like, Lionel is told us that he's like the fourth, and then there's one other person I think we have yet to meet.
No.
Part of our
I'm pretty sure the fourth person in that case was supposed to be Merlin. In the prophecy thing.
Yeah, there was
instead of Aura.
The 5. He said the 5 has been gathered, but he only mentioned. Here, let me pull up the actual prophecy rolls. Because of course I have to write these down.
Merlin.
That's good.
And then we have no idea who the fifth person is right now.
Anyway, for my character and character dynamics, I'd like anything.
Well,
like I feel like with most of the characters, largely my character has no dynamic with them. Like Zeistund is the one he has the most defined dynamic, which is that they're vaguely, which is that Zeistund kind of works him over a little bit, and he's dubious, so they have sort of this tense relationship, and that Zeistund takes the ship partially, and Sohoy is like, that's the only one that feels like there's anything. Like I know Lara is supposed to like did something with my character, but largely Lara just spends most of her time yelling at people.
Yes, that is true, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't want to criticize it too much, and I don't know if this is something you intended or something that you wound up accidentally falling into. But Lara has a lot of like this last one has been really bad because of other Merlin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so like she's been very put out by that.
Yeah, I mean part of it is I haven't been able to get into like the Lara and Sohoy dynamic.
Yeah. I mean, like, Sohoy doesn't make it super easy, but like
develop the start, like because I think the start of the dynamic was in like I want to say it was the Aladdin world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, since then, I haven't really been able to because there hasn't been as much interaction with the two of them this world. And she's
right. Yeah. Well, the important thing that happened to Sohoy happened.
Zeistund and Janet, who are the key people that she yells at.
Yeah.
Yes.
Part of that was
well, I don't think she yells at Janox so much. Janox has kind of been a little.
It's always going to be I yell at you and I punch you.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Here, there's still probably it's always going to be I yell at you, but there's also the added tension with Merlin and Zeistund just being Zeistund, because that's what most of the
right
has been either towards Merlin or towards Zeistund.
Yes, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine
and Gaston.
Fused.
And Gaston, but wouldn't you yell at Gaston?
No one yells
Probably.
at Gaston. No one yells at.
No. A lot of people yell at Gaston. That's the problem.
Most of it though is high-pitched fangirl squeeing though.
Okay, so.
Anyway, yeah. So like, I don't want to come off as like overly negative about that because like characters get in that way. I kind of feel like Janox is also a little bit of a cipher. Like I'm not sure what like, but I think part of that might also be like something that is we are really primed to change now because Janox just had a big change in his circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah, because from prior experience, not only was he equally confused about his own identity because, not remembering a lot of his own past until he joined up, but then trying to both change his own past in a way, and now he realizes he isn't even the person he thought he was. So, yeah, he gets to connect with you now on a personal level from having from literally not being the person that he's been said to be.
Yes, and I guess I'll turn this around since I feel like I've actually been like negative about it. What could I do as Sohoy to be more approachable for your characters, so that it doesn't feel like I'm just saying you don't talk to him? Can't believe it.
Well, why don't we start with? Listen, you've been quiet for a bit here. Why don't we start with you?
That is a hard question because, I mean, you said, I think we do actually have the most connection with each other because we have that. Zyson is trying to I don't know, be a somewhat of a mentor, but kind of failing at it. Because he does kind of see a bit of himself in you, But yeah, you're very the not anti-Zyson, so it's okay, I can't teach it how to lie or something like that.
Yes, I mean you could teach me how to lie. My character would just be is this wrong? This is the time I need to lie.
Anti-Zyson, because the thing is that Sohoy is at this point so innocent. I mean, he's slowly losing some of his innocence in the way of he's actually starting to show his emotions and stuff like that. But
right, and the emotion isn't childlike wonder, childlike frustration.
The way I see it right now is that he's gaining a little bit less of his he's losing some of the naivete that he had, but he is still innocent. But he's not as naive as he was at the start.
Right.
Yeah, and Zyson's basically trying to be
showing more emotion than he has.
Real emotion.
Yeah, and it's kind of okay, you need to lose these feelings to survive in the world.
Yeah. Something where you disagree with my character's thing, but aren't immediately just, no, you're wrong about this.
I think I tried to do that with when I stabbed Janox, but I didn't quite come through.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of that. I mean, my character was I don't know if I trust you, and then it turns out you're trustworthy. So secretly, you've actually done something very important for Sohoy, which is
yeah, teach him not to take everything at face value, I guess.
Right, yeah. Well, it's I meant more in trust of you.
Okay. Yeah.
And so. As far as Laura and Sohoy goes, I feel that it would grow better through one-on-one scenes, because I feel that when it is everyone, it usually does gravitate more towards Laura and Zyson, just because it's a very dynamic relationship. And I think that's part not even dynamic romantic relationship, but there's a lot of emotion going around.
Yeah.
And some of that emotion is just violence and punching and Zyson doing literally everything under the sun to piss her off. And some may wonder if that's on purpose.
Anyways, you were about to say something before she started going on there, Rad?
I forget. So.
Sorry.
It's the latency you don't know. You start talking and you don't start hearing it until after you start going. So people talk over each other. We all know that's a problem with how the software works.
Yeah.
But
is it the software that does it? I was just thinking one of the bigger weird things about it is that you have two people in the same room, so it's very easy for the two of you to talk together. And it's just wait, no, we have to try and talk.
I honestly thought the issue was the fact that I'm very ADD, and when I suddenly come up with something, I almost. I almost have to say it right away, otherwise it's going to completely...
Yeah, no, I also noticed it with, Jane keeps talking, even, Jane often talks with someone else talking to.
I never thought it was a software.
Yeah. I mean, I've had that problem. Too. But yeah. It's that it hasn't been as big of a problem as lately. Like we've been getting better about it. So
Yeah.
Okay, well, why don't we just kind of just to complete the set here? Let's look at.
Last time, what about me? Me and Sohoy, I think our relationship is actually going to, like, I was kind of similar to Zeiston, where I thought I knew a lot more than I did, and thus I wanted to help guide Sohoy along. But now I realize I'm just as lost, and this may help
as far as like the
me
relationship
connect
with
more as
Zoe goes. I
people.
feel like his relationship with Janox is actually the strongest.
It will be, I think. I think it's going to be.
It's probably.
Yeah. I feel like the Dev to the Heart thing has done a really big prototype for how things were going.
Yeah. And what I'm planning on doing after this world is I'm going to basically we're going to have basically an episode that is just on the ship, and it's just going to be one-on-one like scenes where it's just kind of because there is going to be stuff that needs to get unpacked in character.
Well, yeah, because I think that's going to be good because like just to get a lot more of the one-on-one things, because I mean, between, like I said, that it's easy when you're doing a full group to kind of gravitate towards like specific dynamics.
Yeah.
Because of, there's the dynamics that you know what you're doing with it, and then there's the dynamics that you don't know what you're doing.
Yep. And
so we're doing Masks and Blank, like.
Yeah. Like, it's certain characters fit this kind of propel the story, but that unfortunately some people can get left behind. But I don't feel like as much left behind has been going on as much as certain relationships have been neglected, and this game is all about relationships.
Like, the characters have definitely not been. I know we were even just talking about it today, about how, like, what characters seem to be fueling the story the most, and weren't we in Sohoy?
Laura and Sohoy definitely feel like very much front and center.
Yeah.
Janox, I still say, has the best pacing of everyone's story. It has been Janox has been feeling very good about how things have been unfolding at a very consistent rate, and Zeiston's kind of Zeiston, you're the comic relief right now. That's kind of where your story is feeling like.
He deserves it after.
I feel like this last one did a really good job of bringing in the other characters into who they were.
I was the character that got left behind in Masks.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100%. Like I had my dynamic with Jane's character, and that was literally it. That was all I had.
But that's why when I realized after the shipping conversation, this is what I wanted to talk about, because these connections actually really help me, because knowing how you guys interact and everything, and having those things where you kind of pull each other in to your story stuff allows me to kind of
that's definitely a thing that like a lot of games really, like just role-playing games, struggle with, is like I want to bring other people into being interested in mine, and like it's easy almost for me, Zeiston, and Janox, because we're all involved with the same douchebags.
Yeah.
Laura is apparently
not related to that, which is kind of a problem.
At least according to what he believes.
At least according to what we know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. Like, I don't know much. I know that he told me that I'm involved in some kind of prophecy, but I may be involved in multiple prophecies. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I would be surprised if I'm not going to be involved with this, the same 4 douchebags. Well, especially considering the fact that one of the same 4 douchebags is literally Merlin.
Merlin was not part of the 5.
Oh.
No.
Was part of...
The 5? Weren't there 4?
Okay, there are 2 different groups that were mentioned around the same time. There were the 4 masters, which was the master of heart, emotion. It was a master of heart, soul, mind, and will.
Mm-hmm. And there was some gayness going on there, apparently.
Yes, there is explicitly so.
Yes.
Because there was a
thing. Body, because it's like mind, heart, soul, body, like.
No, these are about being a person, not necessarily.
I was trying to confirm if I was reading reading into it, or if there actually was gayness going on.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel it. I might be.
I mean, he did mention two he's, so I'm like, there definitely was a homosexual relationship between two of them.
Yeah, between the Master of Soul and Master of Heart had a relationship, and then the Master of Soul died, and the Master of Heart did not take it well.
Mm-hmm. Now we have of what, mind and
that's what created
mind and will.
And that's what created whatever.
The Hollow.
Mind is the Forgotten Master, will is
Leonold.
Leonold. Yeah.
No, not those assholes, but the assholes that Merlin is also connected.
Oh, okay. I was talking about those assholes.
Yeah, the prophesized 5 that Master Leonold had. I'm going to be overt here. Is Sohoy, Janox, Zeiston, Millen, and Morgana.
Oh, that's Morgana. Okay. So, I'm not having an issue with the assholes, I'm having an issue with a separate thing.
Yeah, there's two groups here.
I mean, the thing is, and even without them being, like, within a group, dealing with, like, Leonol, Millen, you know, the Forgotten Master, Morgana, they've all been a consistent group of assholes that have been popping up.
Yeah.
Like, even if they're not prophesied or an actual group, they are a group of problematic assholes.
Yeah, because Morgana was the witch who forsook the light. Mm-hmm. Janox is the undying ember. Sohoy is the apprentice of the lost. Zeisund is the adrift without anchor. And Millen is the keeper of darkness. At least according to what Leonol said.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's right about at least, I think, someone.
He's not right on me.
Right. Well, I feel like what's his name's character is almost a bit more. His name in it is more.
He's so separated that I literally have nothing to do with the main plot.
Anyways,
yeah. That's that's what I was worried about actually when I learned about that.
Just like Donald and Goofy were very important to the story, even though they are one of the few non-Keyblade wielders.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were related to Mickey, who was related to all of that.
Yeah, they were tied in multiple ways.
Wait, I'm not.
And then even then they were not anywhere near as important as any of the other major characters. Like they were important, but they were just kind of like if you were asking me what their character and what goes on with them, I wouldn't.
Don't worry, they're just discussing the role of Donald and Goofy right now while you're getting your voice back up.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, sorry, she just had a technical issue where she just suddenly lost it. Thankfully, it was only during the Donald and Goofy parallels, so.
Conversation, yeah. I'm more bringing it up because, like.
Okay, I can hear you guys now.
I think the others.
Should I put the game I'm screwing around on the stream?
Characters break down into two different categories in some. Like, there are two categories. One of the two categories you can split us up is that Lara and Zeiston are both actually bonded with the world. They actually have a connection with one of the worlds we are going to visit, and thus a lot of their story is going to come from visiting those worlds and connecting with those characters. While Sohoy and Janox are both not really necessarily linked to a specific world that we know of, and thus their story is more meta-focused because they're more closely related to characters who would, quote, be not necessarily tied to a main world that has pre-established lore and characters, but gets the freedom of being built up as sees fit.
You guys are the original characters versus the franchise characters.
Yeah.
So in that way, technically, me and Sohoy are more related to like how you would see Sora or the others, while you two are closer to probably how you would see the Disney characters in this situation, because the fact that yes, you have a home world and you get to travel around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so let's kind of finish out the pairing here. Let's talk about like Zeiston and Janox, because there's some. What do we kind of want to see between these two?
Because they're partners.
Homosexuality.
Right.
I feel like this is probably what I would consider the third highest ship in our group. if we don't count Laura with one of the two quote nobodies, quote unquote, that is the one non-heterosexual relationship we could probably say is the closest thing to existing. So they worked together for a long time.
Closest thing to existing is still Sohoy and Milan.
Millen,
not Milan.
Milan. What?
Like that is
obviously now that's why Sohoy had a former relation. Millen used to be a girl and then had his name changed when he fell.
But like still like to the fact that there is like this whole past with them that we don't really know what the heck happened. But Millen seems hurt.
And Sohoy is clearly affected by it.
Yeah.
Like him being like, I am very hurt. I'm like,
Like seriously, like as far as like homosexual pairings that I swear are actually a thing, they are one of them. I mean, I don't know what Janox and Zeiston have gotten into in the past. I don't know. I'm not gonna suddenly state what it is, but I'm sure there was something.
So anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I kind of see like the Akatsuki kind of relationships. Like we're kind of grouped together. We have our dynamics.
They boinked, like at the very least.
We're talking Zeiston and
Zeiston and not Sohoy.
Oh my god, no!
No, that's the precious version boy. No, Zeiston and Janox.
How old
unless
is
he's not, and
everyone
his
here?
history doesn't involve that. The actual age or the character age?
Character age.
I'm like 18.
16?
That's kind of what
Zeiston somewhere is like 20s, I think.
Okay.
We are all
Like-
legal. Except for the 16-year-old. And he's the one
Still
we're saying
somewhere
are
in the world.
innocent.
Okay. Anyways, let's talk about like what do you guys want to see kind of with the where do you guys kind of see the dynamic going in game, not in fan fiction?
Oh, you haven't even heard about my idea and stuff that... No, let me talk.
If you have any fan fictions, link them down below.
Oh, we needed this we needed this talking. This has been needed.
I'm just saying that I have like so many ideas of things for the Enchanted World.
Oh dear.
Well, can you imagine how Giselle is going to interact with Lara and Zeiston no matter what point their relationship is at this point? Because she's going to see right through it and be like, they are in love! And it's just going to...
She's
Can
totally
you
gonna
not
have
imagine it?
Oh god, I can, okay.
Yeah, she's gonna break into her song around you too.
Yes!
How does she
And the sad
know?
thing is that it's gonna be no matter what point our relationship's at that point. Whether the thing is that if nothing big has happened at that point, that's probably where it's gonna happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so I guess is there anything actually we want to say about Zeiston and Janox here? Because I feel like we've been hitting everything but.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I feel like we probably should say something about it that's deliberate rather than just like jokes about how close they are, because we don't.
Like personally, I'm kind of wondering what that whole stabbing in the back is gonna do with them.
It was the front, I thought.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't figurative stabbing in the back.
Yeah, I know.
There is no way that they're gonna be exactly the same as they were.
No.
At that point, like considering the fact that he did, like, even if it was like, oh, I was faking it this entire time, he did still try to kill him.
So why don't we let Zeiston or Jane talk about it here?
Yes.
Because it is their characters. No offense.
I was gonna mention that there could be some like kind of animosity between that moment. Like, oh, hello, something popped up.
The stream. I suggested I would stream my game, so okay.
Oh, okay.
Streamception.
I don't know if anybody cares, and if nobody watches it after a little while, I'll probably quit. But
A stream within a stream.
I mean, this is just a regular stream.
Well, you're just streaming while we're streaming, so that was more of the joke.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what you guys are streaming. So I don't know if anyone's
You're
interested in
playing a
that.
video
But
game and streaming it while we're streaming this. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Something we have to worry about in this situation.
Anyway, like I said, there's probably going to be some, like, there should be something between that, like, I don't know if Jax still feels, like, kind of bitter about that, or...
Yeah, there's good. That'll be one of the situations we'll have to confront a little bit more once we're no longer in a situation where we got to worry about the breaking of the fabric of reality.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because, like, Dyson basically did try to sell you out for his own freedom.
Yeah. Okay, so
That will be a conversation that will have to come up. I feel like it's one of the more important ones. I feel that needs to come up once we actually get to our
To the ship.
no longer
thing,
in
yeah.
the middle of the world again.
yeah, one between worlds. And I guess now the last one here, because I feel like we don't really need to say anything about Laura and Zyson. We know where that's going.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
Laura
is
and
possible
Janox.
shipping bait.
Laura and Janox. Like
Really, but
I really like the dynamic between Laura and Janox. I just have no idea where the fuck it's going. But I really love the dynamic.
I mean, it's possible that you just have a turn where the characters just like each other and get along.
Like,
I think it's the fact that I've shown her a lot more. It's kind of like that respecting, because initially she seemed to think I was, closer to like those normal organization guys, and then I've shown so far that my character actually does have some, respectfulness to it. Hopefully,
but I do
So
feel
it's like,
that
oh,
the
I don't
dynamic
have to
is
worry
going
about-
to get stronger because of what just happened. Because of
Yeah,
the whole
you-
guy. Because, he got her memories back.
yeah, and
And you also now kind of have a heart again, so...
Not to mention I went after his body, too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, there's definitely going to be something because it's definitely going to cause even, possibly something more than just a mutual respect, because of the fact that I went after his body to save him, like disregarding everything. Plus, he pretty much discarded everything to get my memories back.
Yeah, I feel like together the two of you I think you guys are going to be heading towards a way like you two are going to be the ones that implicitly trust one another, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think more than
like
anyone else.
Axel and Kyrie.
Can be a little bit more open.
That's
still,
kind of the
because-
feelings that I get from it. It's like Axel and Kyrie.
or even or heck, it can even just fit in as a quote more. It makes a shipping argument, aka if you're one of those people who likes those slap kiss relationship, you ship Zara, you ship Zeiston and Laura.
Zara.
If you like the ones who actually go like mutual respect and act good to each other, then you might ship our two, Laura. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that open type of who do you feel? Hey, it depends on how the interaction's going again.
I also kind of realized Laura and Zyson kind of have the Rama one-half kind of relationship.
Oh, they totally.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes sense because that is normally the type of relationship that I gravitate to. Probably because Ranma One Half was one of my first anime. It was like my first romance anime I ever watched.
Oh yeah.
So,
Around two.
almost everything I write comes from something similar to that. But they do very much have a Ranma and Akane sort of relationship.
So that's where I would argue is that it leaves that relationship up in the air theoretically, is because theoretically Laura could end up with either one of those two.
Well, yeah,
two,
because if, we do decide to
whether you're
explore
more-
Zeiston and Lara and it just doesn't go anywhere that we'd want it to and it just doesn't work out, then we can, give that a try.
It could be dependent on where the story beats go. If Zeiston has to make more of those harsh decisions that alienate him from the group,
Exactly.
it might.
There's definitely a possibility of a love triangle going on here.
What were you say, Red?
Love triangle. That's where I was going with that.
Oh, I was gonna say, or he just goes back and does the the thing he wants to do with I'm doing stuff for my benefit.
Yeah. There's definitely a possibility of a love triangle to go on here.
Well, on the flip side, we don't have to worry about a love triangle if I just vanish from existence.
Who knows? We might just pull
God! Sheesh, that was dark.
Or who knows? We could just pull a Korra and like Zyson and Janox just get off at the very end.
Exactly. That's still a love triangle. It's just, who never said it had to be a straight answer?
Alright, so I feel like we got our relationship pretty good, so I guess this is going to be kind of the last little thing we're going to do in this discussion here is, like, is there any, like, burning questions, like, you as a player, not necessarily your character, want answered going forward? Like, I'm not going to say, like, oh yeah, here's what the explanation is here, but just kind of, like, something you're, like, personally interested in and want to see resolved.
Am I going to be part of this Lux logo? Am I going to have any connection to the Lux logos at some point?
Yeah, you're the prophecy thing for you. Okay. So what were you saying, Jane?
I mean, it's not just the prophecy thing. It means the fact that like everyone else has some kind of thing regarding these masters.
I imagine it's partly with the twist involving Morgana supposedly being one of these people. A situation like with the whole Seven Lights thing, where initially, yeah, maybe the prophecy was about the five currently listed people, but because of the way destiny happens, that might change who is involved in that.
Yeah. All right. So what about the
one minor question I wanted to have before we wrapped up here is about. So you were talking like there's a phase 3. So is this kind of your game of choice you're imagining, at least for the foreseeable future, for the four of us to, or should 5 if we also can't use the GM to play it as?
I want. When I say phase 3, basically, it's I should say act. It's more like talking like act structure. We're in like a 3-act structure, so we were in kind of this marks the beginning of like the second act, and then there's the third act. Basically, it's like using Kingdom Hearts 2 for example. We're right now just leaving the revisit of Hollow Bastion, where suddenly the external to the Disney stuff plot starts kicking in, and then what I consider Act 3 is going to be like going to the world that never was in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Though, as far as things go, there's always an opening for a sequel.
Yeah.
Like, that's always an opening. Like, I love Interstitial, so I would love to do a sequel. But, it kind of depends on what happens as things go on and how everyone else enjoys it, depending on how long this goes.
But we would definitely, after we resolve this story here, and I do want to give the game a break and kind of switch games and such.
Yeah, before doing a sequel, before suddenly just saying, we're doing a sequel!
Of course, we'll do other games, we'll find something else we'll do when we get close to that point.
Having an in-betweener game, kind of like, like what if there was a sequel that would like be like a season 2, and it would be kind of like the the interim show before the season 2, comes in.
Either way, so
that's even just the other game, like I said, like I kind of don't want to happen what happened with our old our pony character.
Me either. Where it got left at the wayside.
Yeah, but like we'll just kind of see what because like that one I specifically want. That one was stuff like there was a lot more stories we felt we could tell with the characters. But this one, I don't know how much story may be left for this particular group at the end point.
Yeah.
We'll see. I have no idea.
That's what I'm for, but because at this point, I don't know if we need a sequel necessarily, if we can wrap up all the plot threads.
Yeah, it literally all depends on what else happens. I mean, and maybe we might not do a sequel, maybe we might do like just a different interstitial game.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do one that's not as hardcore Kingdom Hearts. It maybe we just open up the sandbox a little more, and it's just this crossover thing that maybe starts from a Kingdom Hearts type thing, but it just goes more off world. Let's say, so we're not just like saying Disney World or something.
Yeah.
It could go. We could go a little.
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though we have a lot of different games that we want to try out. Like
Yeah.
past this, like like I run Monster of the Week. And we definitely we all have had an interest in doing masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I've gathered.
Mask sounds interesting.
Yeah, everyone seems to have an interest in doing that. Like, I think that's definitely, like, after we wrap up all the plots, I think for this, Mask is probably likely the next thing we're going to do.
Yeah, that's my kind of intention. If nothing else, just to kind of, like, recenter myself on really... Because masks really help me kind of made Powered by the Apocalypse click for me. So I feel like running that again will kind of help get
And
me...
I mean, we just got a new book of a thing called, Heroines of the First Age. That's it's Monster Girls.
That could be interesting. I'd have to think a little bit about that.
We're planning on doing a test run of it.
If it's all wait, what game is this?
It's called Heroines of the First Age. It's a Powered by the Apocalypse.
Okay. Because there's another Monster Girl game coming out. I'm like, I doubt it's that one.
No, it's not that one. I looked at the Kickstarter and then it's
that. At that one. That was the one you looked at, wasn't it?
I looked at it and then I just saw I saw things that just kind of made me my hair stand on end in terms of mechanical design choices, and I just
no, this was a different one.
Maybe just not interested.
But yeah,
it might be. Oh yeah.
It definitely looks interesting. We're doing a test run just with with him running and then me and my sister. So we're just doing we're gonna do an in-house test run.
Yeah, we're gonna do some stuff with me.
Okay.
So
I go through a lot of games. I especially with Powered by the Apocalypse.
I assume we'll find something that we can all do at some point is he's been working on a Digimon game.
Rather a kid with bonded monster game that I fully intend to use to run Digimon games. But the serial numbers are filed off in the rules so that I could maybe someday publish it.
Yeah. So that's another thing,
Is that gonna be Powered by the Apocalypse variant?
It is Powered by the Apocalypse. That is kind of my system of choice for a lot of things.
And I mean, I have a million different ideas for different Powered by the Apocalypse games. But I would never because I'm not crunchy enough to come up with rules and moves and all that stuff. So if I had any ideas, I'd probably just throw it at him and say, "Hey, are you interested in this? Do you want to make this game?"
Well, I mean,
find it.
Yeah, or find it. I've got a million different possible ideas of stuff, and there's a lot of them that I've literally said okay, well, if you can't find one like it, would you ever be willing to write one like it? Just another thing we've been in that he's been working on hasn't been working on it recently, but there was a Powered by the Apocalypse Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Was that Scum and Villainy?
No, it was
that he made.
It was a Jedi game.
Okay.
That was kind of designing. I usually have to have a project I'm working on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I start overworking my existing projects.
I look into a Harry Potter as Powered by the Apocalypse.
We can understand.
There's a few of those out there.
Anyway. There's also a Yu-Gi-Oh one that we've been looking at backing too.
Well, no, it's when I got through that
Or you already got
that one race. Yeah. Anyways,
there's another one that he has access to that is basically it's Yu-Gi-Oh GX essentially.
No.
So, well, all right. But that is far in the future here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but definitely we'll be doing other things than just Interstitial. Because that wasn't.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. And it might be interesting because if Masks is where you cut your teeth, it might be interesting to see Masks contrasted with Interstitial and see what we can crib from the other system. Because I remember you guys saying Interstitial is actually kind of underbuilt for some Powered by the Apocalypse games.
For Powered by the Apocalypse, it is quite underbuilt.
I mean, Masks, to be fair, Masks is considered to be one of the best designed games out there.
I compare everything to Masks because it was my first Powered by the Apocalypse game. So
Yeah.
But I mean,
If
in
anything, I'm
general,
thinking I
like
think
if
it'd be a
anything
good
that we
season
want
two.
to play in the future, if anyone has any like Powered by the Apocalypse games that they know of that they want to try out, like I just love
Just
Powered
straight
by
up
the
Apocalypse World.
It,
The first.
my big thing is like I tried Pathfinder 2. I don't like I tried Pathfinder. I can't do crunchy. I can't do the number crunching. So I can't really do like D&D or Pathfinder. So Powered by the Apocalypse is my thing that I usually.
If
Alright.
you guys are no, that's fine. If anything, we get it. That's one thing. If we ever do a season 2 of something, we should go back to Mask.
Yeah, I don't want to do a season 2 of our last map
I feel like that feels.
because I didn't like my character.
I feel like we can
Oh.
set it in the same
Yeah.
world of like the same. It's the same city of the old game, so the stuff you did happen, but you're a totally new team, new characters, and everything like that.
Oh, but I like that girl. Dang.
Because like I just didn't have the same reaction with what was it? QB. I just didn't have the same feeling as with QB as I did with either Lara or Lilith. And
Yeah.
I mean Lara, there's a reasoning as to why, because I first created Lara when I was like 15 years old. So
All right. Maximum OC. Got it.
yeah, Maximum OC.
Well, see.
Yeah, that was kind of blank for me, where it's like, okay, this is like a hero that I've actually created and like thought deeply on, and
yeah,
so I know how to play
think-
it.
I think everybody but me is doing that. Where I don't have any Kingdom Hearts
Lilith
characters.
was a completely different story. I pulled Lilith out of my ass, and I've had a lot of mask characters that I unfortunately haven't been able to go many places with that I freaking love. Like the one that I know he said that he thinks is like the most interesting is I had a legacy hero that was it was instead of like the same basic idea of like the legacy of like the Flash fan all that stuff. It was someone who basically you go through family of they all have like the powers of the Greek gods. So it was that was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And like I had my first game I had a really interesting character that was the what one
You were playing the Reformed. It was
I was
never
playing the
more.
Reformed, and I had a character who was from a different dimension, and that dimension was literally just like Edgar Allan Poe. Like
No.
it was literally like it went into like they had like the pit and the pendulum was literally like a prison that they had there, and it was based off of Edgar Allan Poe poetry.
So, but yeah, so
Super dark and awful.
Yeah.
I like
I've
that.
had some really good Max characters that I would like to revisit,
and we will talk about them some other time.
okay.
Sorry, no, I'm trying to wrap. I'm just trying to wrap here. I'm sorry.
I keep forgetting we're actually
But
streaming.
the reason we went into this tangent is it does sound like we at least have a few more months of playing these characters before we even have to start considering.
Right, back on topic, I actually have a question that I want to ask.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, so ask it.
I was going to ask, is Zeisman ever going to get a heart or be like a somebody?
Well, he's been getting it. Like I have been making. That's why I've been making points that you've been starting to feel the presence of the Hollowed now. Like whereas in the beginning you weren't able to feel it at all. That is actually
something to do with
we have the
that's going to be building.
in-character reasoning of realizing he gets his heart back. I guess his heartless got destroyed somewhere off in the
actually
background.
no. I'm not going by that. He's making a new one.
Yeah. Because they make their own hearts.
Also, we're going off of Roxas logic.
No, it was pretty explicitly.
It's all of them. All of them do that.
Yeah, he's not going to be reborn. He's still going to be Zeistend. He's just.
That's been around for now like 8 years or something.
Yeah, I think it came up in Dream Drop is when it first came up with that. So, anyways, yeah. So that's kind of the thing. So, Red or
Okay. I was going to say, bonus question. Am I going to get a Keyblade?
If you want to, we can work out the deets.
Yeah. I'm getting one at
Hey, that would be really interesting. That as Zeiston or even Janox develop more into people, hey, we get Keyblades too. Everybody getting
I
Keyblades.
always kind of figured that there was definitely a possibility that by the end of it, all 4 of us were going to have Keyblades. Because I knew that I eventually wanted a Keyblade, because in the past I've had Laura have a Keyblade. So I definitely wanted to have one.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been thinking about like my design for a Keyblade like for the last little bit, so
Yeah, it's just
Mine is
it's
totally
not going to
designed.
be like it's not going to be like Kari's getting her Keyblade just handed to her in the middle of a random fight kind of.
yeah.
Sorry, Kairi. We were watching Digimon, and
I thought you were leading
Now
to
they're all
it's not
from
gonna
the
be
same
like
universe.
Kari suddenly
Conspiracy
becoming a
is voiced by the same
Digidestined.
PA.
Yeah, no, because mine, like, I mean, I have, like, in my own written stuff, a whole backstory on how she gets hers, and that's already a bit, like, phrased.
I don't think.
it will,
I don't.
if it happens,
it's
it will happen in a
relative.
dramatically appropriate time.
If it's relative, will become a point. But yeah, I thought part of the reason me and Dyson didn't take that was we were trying to avoid just everybody has a Keyblade situation.
Well,
Right, but Kingdom Hearts also works so that everyone who's important gets a Keyblade situation.
Yeah.
Especially
True.
when there is cases that Heartless can't really by
I
other
considered
weapons.
the potential that maybe my character loses his Keyblade at least for a little while.
Interesting. That would be
But he might not
that'd be
anymore.
really
Well, this was theoretically like, oh, what do we need to do? Well, we find a sword and we put it in the thing, and Sohoy critically fails. What happens? Well, the Keyblade goes with it. What? That's stupid. Nope.
But that still would be like an interesting thing to kind of something similar to like when Sora loses the Keyblade.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'll keep that in my bag of tricks for something to do in the future, maybe. But
yeah. It could possibly be that. It would have made more sense right after Millen was like, "You're not supposed to have a Keyblade." And my character's being weird about it, and like, "Oh, I have to leave it." Just leave it and sulk about it. But like,
because there's still the possibility that like those words are like haunting him.
Yeah. But the problem is that like he doesn't know what to think about what's his butt.
Yeah.
What's his butt?
Leonold.
Yeah. All right, I think we are good for tonight here. I mean, we had some great conversation.
Another 15 hours of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be up at 4 in the morning here, please. All right, as always.
Yeah, sorry I was late. Work issues.
No, it's fine. It worked out well that we were already planning on doing this, so everything kind of worked out well. As always, you can join our Discord with a link to this down in the description to chat with us and discuss the channel or channel adjacent topic or what else you want to. Like, what do you think of the spoilers that you are going to share to the universe because they're spoilers and you desire to feed on human misery? You can also follow us on Twitter at Tales Across to get updates from us or be notified when the channel goes live. Character art is done by friend of the show, Carl. Links to their DeviantArt and Coffee account below. Finally, like us.
No.
Oh, go ahead. You can talk here.
Oh, no. It's fine.
Okay. Finally, like and subscribe to get both future content and help us reach a wider audience. So to those watching us in the past, present, and future, tell us your OTPs, please. And good night.
Good night.